A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us on the weekend edition of News Tonight. My name is Kweku Temeng. It's always a delight when I join you with the latest happenings throughout the country. Tonight is no exception. We'll bring you all the headlines you're waiting for. Just before we do so, let's look at some of the top stories that we have for you. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, battle against Galamsey intensifies as Namos raids Hiawa Kofrum, arrests Chinese miners and seize weapons and equipment. Also coming up tonight, Breast Society of Ghana sets record straight, dispels myth linking breast sucking to breast cancer prevention. Tonight, we'll bring you more.
Ideas that men sucking breast can prevent breast cancer, that is not true.
Yes, tonight we'll bring you updates from our world of business, and here we will tell you the story of the evolution of Ghana's legal tender, thus the Ghana cedi as it turns 60. And then we will take you on the international front where counting of ballots and leading cocoa producing country goes to the polls to elect a new updates. Tonight we have these and many other interesting stories as we would be sharing with you. Not forgetting that we would also bring you some stories from our world of sports. Well, thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. Let's take our very first story for tonight. And here, in an intensified fight against illegal mining and its devastating impact on Ghana's water bodies, the government has deployed some 138 blue water guards in the Bole and Bamboy areas of the Savannah region. The initiative, led by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, forms part of President Mahama's renewed strategy to safeguard water resources and promote environmental sustainability.
The Blue Water Guards have officially passed out after 4 weeks of intensive training in Bole. The recruits, drawn from riverine communities, were trained in surveillance, survival swimming, environmental protection, and basic combat skills, key tools in the fight against illegal mining. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Alhaji Yusuf Suleimana, urged the new guards to uphold integrity and discipline as they begin their assignments to protect Ghana's rivers and forest reserves.
The assignment you have accepted is a huge one. You will be tempted with money. You will be threatened, and all kinds of threats will be meted out to you. If you know you cannot stand those threats and those motivational factors from these Galamseyers, especially those who are on the water bodies, you better own up.
The Deputy Minister also hinted of an upcoming potable water projects for Bole and Bamboy and encouraged the youth to take advantage of future recruitment opportunities in the security services.
It is important to state that water is one of the most important requirements for our survival. If you take air out of it, the next, if you ask me, is water. And so to have our water bodies destroyed simply means we are destroying ourselves.
The Deputy Manager of the Minerals Commission, Stephen Agbo, praised the initiative as a crucial step toward responsible mining. He reminded the public that Ghana's mining laws prohibit activities within 100 meters of rivers, encouraging small-scale miners to obtain proper licenses instead of engaging in galamsey.
And the repercussions are clear. You go to endemic illegal mining communities, After our ladies and women have carried their pregnancy for 9 months, they go to give birth and the babies have various forms of deformities. If Ghana's children are our future, the way and manner we are doing our mining, then I bet to say that Ghana has no future.
The district chief executive for Bole, Abdullahi Mahmoud, described the Blue Water Guard program as timely and essential to protecting the area's rich natural resources.
We are farmers. We depend on the water, and others who want to take advantage of the mineral resources there to make all of us die. To prevent this, I think the initiative will go a long way to protect our water bodies and give us the safety that we all need.
The inauguration marks a major step in Ghana's ongoing war against illegal mining, empowering communities to defend their environment and preserve clean water for future generations.
Let's still stay more on illegal mining as the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, that's NAMOS, has intensified its nationwide crackdown on illegal mining, recording another major success in GHOne in the Amenfi Central District of the Western Region, while the intelligence-led operation resulted in the arrest of 3 Chinese galamseyers, the seizure of a pump-action gun with 4 cartridges, and the impoundment of 2 excavators used for the destructive mining alongside the Ankobra River. While acting swiftly on credible intelligence received from an informant who provided the GPS location of the illegal mining site, the NAMOS task force departed to GHOne at approximately 9-10 hours. Upon arrival, the team encountered both Chinese and Ghanaian illegal miners who had been alerted by local Okada riders of the approaching task force. Well, several suspects fled into the forest, but the task force successfully apprehended 3 Chinese nationals. A Nissan Navara vehicle was seized at the scene, together with a pump-action shotgun with 4 cartridges and mobile phones belonging to the arrested suspects. Well, the team also discovered 2 excavators alongside large heaps of sand that's pay dirt, evidence of extensive environmental degradation along the river bank. We'll bring you more local stories, and here stakeholders in sustainability are calling for stronger collaboration to protect the environment and fast-track the achievements of Sustainable Development Goals. Well, at the 2nd edition of the International Conference on Environment, Social Governance and Sustainable Development, founder of Women in Sustainability Africa, Nana Yasewa Sapon, highlighted the need to put women at the center of sustainability and its efforts. Well, she noted that empowering women and giving them leadership roles in sustainability initiatives will not only help protect the environment, but also accelerate economic growth and enhance progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals.
It was a gathering of policymakers, researchers, and industry leaders, all united by one mission: building a more sustainable and inclusive Africa. At the event, convener of Women in Sustainability Africa, Nana Yasewa Sapon, highlighted the need of placing women at the center of sustainability.
To drive inclusive economic growth and reduce poverty amongst others, there is a need for an intentional and clear understanding of setting and aligning economic and social dynamics in specific contexts. So even when we are talking about the SDGs, let's involve women. Let's talk about women and young people. And this will in turn positively impact the involvement and contribution of the women in the SDGs.
The conference, which brought together experts from across the continent, also tackled pressing environmental challenges, particularly illegal mining, known locally as galamsey.
We must go green in our bodies, okay? The things that we consume. I've just been informed that even contumely now, when you boil it, it's not boiling because of the pollution in our system, our ecosystem, pollution, emission pollution, galamsey pollution. It's everywhere. And we are consuming things that are killing our bodies. So we are not dying because we get sick. We are dying because we are killing ourselves.
All activities that we do must be guided by our conscience in such a way that we don't destroy the environment. So the GHOne concept came in to encourage businesses to conduct their businesses responsibly, taking into consideration the environmental issues.
Government is part of us, and we all have to support government, the youth especially, because some of the youth know where this problem exists. Those that are doing the galamsey, how old are they? Are they not part of the youth? They are part of the youth, so they need to help government.
Participants called on organizations and corporations to go beyond profit making and start disclosing environmental data as part of their sustainability reporting. They believe transparency will help measure real progress towards the sustainable development goals.
In other stories tonight, members of the Hallowed Chapel International, located at Bachona, a suburb of Spintex, are calling for swift intervention over a Rambo-style attack on them at midnight and the demolition of the church. Currently, the church has been completely razed down, with the founder of the church, Pastor Odim, seeking that they come to his rescue.
Okay. If you take a picture of me, I will please, you beat me for what? I'm making a call. Why do you want to take a picture? I'm making a call. You will beat me. Please. You stupid fool.
Eyewitnesses and church members say the incident happened around 12:30 a.m. when a group of armed men stormed the Hallowed Chapel International premises, wielding guns, hammers, and other weapons. The attackers reportedly forced worshippers out at gunpoint, seized and destroyed their mobile phones, and then brought in an excavator to demolish the entire church building with all its contents still inside. Terrified members say they were gagged, beaten, and want to leave the area or face even harsher consequences.
Yeah, then I see, and has any on then any so church members now if you start to say Mudi Hamani, Mudi two best on this man say, I'm sorry, Mudi Hammer Bob and any Mukraba could bomb a chest. That we or some people I'm saving on, and yes, I'm a no Mudi. I heard them, but Mudibaya money. It's out time most started some the Dano.
By sunrise, the once thriving church had been reduced to a pile of rubble. The founder of Hallowed Chapel International, Pastor Jude Udim, says he is devastated by the destruction. He insists he holds all legal documents proving ownership of the land and claims another group is unlawfully attempting to take over the property, alleging it was gifted to them.
Before I bought it, search was conducted. There was no information or anything like litigation. And I started building. The time came, I have built, and I was informed that judgment went to the other family.
The matter has been reported to the Bachona police station, where investigations are currently underway.
Well, let's talk about health now. The Breast Society of Ghana is debunking popular myths that sucking a woman's breast can prevent breast cancer. Well, the group says there is no scientific evidence to support such claims, and it's urging the public to rely on verified medical information. Well, according to the society, while awareness about breast cancer has improved, misinformation continues to spread, especially on social media. Amongst the most common myths are that breast cancer affects only women, that wearing of tight bras causes cancer and that physical injury to the breast can trigger the disease, all of which experts say are false. President of the Breast Society of Ghana, Dr. Josephine Insafo, joins us via Zoom at this moment. Well, Dr. Insafo, thank you very much for your time. Let me find out from you. Many myths surrounding breast cancer in Ghana. Tell us, why do you think these misconceptions persist, and how can education help us in this process?
Good evening. So yes, breast cancer is a huge problem. It's the commonest female cancer in Ghana. And I think as a people, there's a need to know what causes it. And unfortunately, we can't give you the specific cause of what starts the cancer. So that has allowed all sorts of myths, misconceptions in the society, people trying to come up with reasons why cancer exists. And I think just ignorance, the lack of the information. So as a society, we step out there to try and educate and create awareness. And then also, we are a spiritual people, and we tend to attribute everything that happens to some spiritual or underlying cause. So that is also one very big challenge in the society. And the awareness creation is to put out the facts about the disease there, the facts about the disease, the facts about the treatment, and to dispel any misconceptions that may be going around in the community and on social media, especially around this time.
Interesting. I'm happy you've spoken extensively about awareness, but beyond awareness, what practical steps should women and even men take to ensure early detection and effective treatment of breast cancer?
Yes, so awareness is just creating the knowledge out there. So the next step is to put it into practice. We need to change our attitudes. We need to take charge of our own health. And first of all, start breast screening. We need to do our monthly breast self-examination. Every woman has to learn how to do this by the age of 20. Once a month, you examine your own breast. If you notice something, you report it. When you are used to your breast, when there's the slightest change, you pick it early. And then we advise that once a year, you go to hospital for a medical person to examine your breast. Maybe they will see something you haven't noticed. And then at the age of 40, we are all encouraged to start doing mammograms. At least every 2 years or every year you do your mammogram. And the mammogram machine is able to detect cancer before it becomes a lump or you see anything in the breast. So at that stage, you're able to catch it at the pre-invasive stage. And it's simpler to treat. We may not even have to remove your breast. It's simpler to treat, cheaper to treat, and even you are spared some of the side effects of treatment. Secondly, also, God forbid, assuming you happen to be diagnosed with breast cancer, we should know that it's a disease that has a cure. And so we shouldn't waste time dilly-dallying looking for the spiritual cause of the disease. But we come to hospital, comply with all the treatment protocols, and then we are cured. But starting treatment when it's late is not the best. So not only early detection, but also early treatment.
Dr. Insafo, we can appreciate you some more, and I'm sure since we are in the peak October month, definitely we'll be getting you back to touch on issues surrounding breast cancer. But let me stay on the subject some more, as every story is unique and every journey matters. Now, that's the message behind this year's breast cancer awareness campaign at Medina Pentecostal Hospital. A group of women is leading a quiet revolution, breaking myths, spreading awareness, and inspiring early detection. Here is a report filed by Peter Kweku Adato.
Globally, breast cancer remains one of the leading causes of cancer-related deaths, with more than 2.3 million new cases recorded every year. In Ghana, it ranks as the second leading cause of cancer deaths after liver cancer, claiming nearly half of all diagnosed patients due to late detection and advanced stage presentation. Data from the Kolebu Oncology Unit shows that as of June 2025, over 356 new breast cancer cases had already been recorded for this year.
It's said every year, but people still lack the knowledge when it comes to breast cancer. And some may be aware, but they have the wrong facts. And so that's what we are not doing right.
These frightening realities have inspired a wave of awareness campaigns across the country, especially during October. At the Elim Event Center in North Legon, dozens of women gathered for what many describe as a life-changing experience, a free breast cancer screening and health education session. Public health experts from the Pentecostal Hospital in Medina led the session, providing life-saving education and practical demonstrations on early detection and self-examination.
As a woman, you are the doctor of your breast, and so you should always examine it. Once you see any changes, you should seek professional help because early detection saves lives, that they've always been saying.
The event was organized by R122, a Christian women's fellowship, which dedicated its monthly meeting to empowering women to take charge of their health and protect themselves from breast cancer.
I encourage every young woman, every woman, do away with the myths we've been given and follow the facts. And have our breast screened and checked every month like we're taught today by yourself. And if you discover any changes, don't be afraid. Just run to the hospital for proper checks and diagnosis.
Across Ghana, women are rewriting the narrative, transforming fear into faith and silence into strength, one screening at a time. Peter Kwa Adatos report for GHOne News.
Allow me to do a little bit on health now. A new dawn for healthcare in Tanoso in the Tano North municipality of the Ahafo region. Well, the Municipal Assembly, working in partnership with Newmont GHOne Limited, has begun the construction of a 3-bedroom doctor's quarters and the renovation of the Tanoso Health Center. Well, the initiative comes with 5 mechanized boreholes, provided the community with easier access to clean and potable water.
Newmont GHOne Limited is fully funding the project, which is expected to be completed in 6 months. Municipal Chief Executive Pius Opoku said the project is part of the Assembly's commitment to improving healthcare delivery and enhancing living standards across the municipality.
I want to assure the good people of Tano North that the reset agenda by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, it's on course and it's on rise here in Tano North. They should keep calm, everything is under control, and we'll make sure that the best comes out to them.
Pius Opoku also emphasized the need for regular maintenance of the facilities after completion to ensure their sustainability and long-term benefits.
After the project's completion, we expect that they continue to maintain so that it will be kept for the future generation use.
He hinted that similar projects, including new classroom blocks, CHIPS compounds, and additional boreholes, will soon begin in other parts of the municipality. Among those present were the Chief of Tanoso, Nana Oprempon Shrebafo Akomemia, lead for Newmont GHOne, James Odro Buafo, and project contractor Samson Owusu, all of whom pledged support toward the successful completion of the project.
It's Tanoso hospital in here development bebre. It's mesfese yina ebeka bom.
The Newmont etuhu na monse ebeboa na assembly so agiatum nananom ene Tanoso man nyina agiatum se yebeye. Ya hoho se kedwumadi ensu betumi awie anche kra finkwa na wie na nke awie ni nyina.
The sword-cutting ceremony marks another milestone in Tanoso North's drive to improve quality healthcare through effective public-private collaboration.
Nananum edikan eni madwuma e wa bonten ansa na yesan e ba e wa construction site no. Nti adwuma de e ade a e wa yakoma so. Nso ade a wani gi ho bia na o ya ufiri wakoma mu e na eye. E na ona boso ba yenso no. Wa maye nyina ya gi atum se Ghana first.
Residents are optimistic that the new health and water projects will bring lasting relief and better healthcare services to the community.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is News Tonight. My name is Kweku Temeng. We'll take a breather at this point, but yes, we still have some more local stories for you, so just keep your channels right here. We're coming back with some updates from our business world. We'll get you some sports news, and we'll jump to the international scenes and get you some updates on Ivory Coast elections. Do stay with us. We'll be back shortly. All right, so thank you very much for keeping faith with us. Let's bring you some more local stories. And here, the GHOne Applied Technology Institute, a state-of-the-art government-funded technical and vocational education and training. That's a TVET center commissioned in November 2024 to equip young people with hands-on technical and vocational skills. It's facing low enrollment as a result of the inadequate infrastructure in the school. With no classrooms or dormitory facilities available, only 21 of the first-year students posted to the school have reported.
GHOne Applied Technology Institute, set up to equip young people with practical skills in fashion, ICT, food technology, electronic engineering, and woodwork technology, began admitting students last academic year. Despite its launch, the school still lacks a completed classroom block. Reports indicate that the contractor initially abandoned the project following the 2024 general elections, but has recently returned to resume work. In the meantime, workshops intended for hands-on training are being used as makeshift classrooms, putting costly equipment at risk of damage. Dormitories are also incomplete, discouraging many prospective students despite high interest nationwide. Principal of the institute, Mameya Roxin, expressed optimism that enrollment will improve once the dormitories are completed.
Currently, we are running a day school. Most of the students that applied to come here, they are coming from, far places. So, unfortunately, we haven't been able to secure a place as a hostel. That we have done, that we come around the community, but we haven't been able to secure a place as a hostel for the students. And that means that it's the parents, it behoves on the parents to get, a place for their wards. And that has been a big challenge. So we usually, when they come, and because of accommodation issues, they are not able to stay in the school. So that is one area of challenge.
Currently, the GHOne Applied Technology Institute has only 21 first-year students, alongside 64 continuing students from last year. The Etiwa East District Chief Executive, Ernest Intim, said he alerted the GHOne administrator to the stalled project, prompting the contractor's return. He described the institute as a key tool in combating illegal mining, with plans to introduce teaching programs for youth in the informal sector.
I had a discussion with the principal, and they are already having something in place. If we get all the facilities in place, they intend to run evening programs for some of the young guys in the town also to come here, to come and study all this kind of stuff. So it's really, really, really going to help to shape those who are already in the wooden industry, the building industry, the electrical industry, and even those who are actually want to do away with this illegal mining issue. So actually it's something that is really going to help.
Meanwhile, Dr. John Boache Dankwa of the Canada-based Globe and System consulting firm, who recently visited the school, praised the institute, noting that it has the necessary tools and infrastructure to provide world-class technical and vocational training.
And so what we really need to do is to how we can build and replicate these centers all across the country, and also work on the cultural aspect, because a lot of people still think that technical school is really for low people with low intelligence and other things. But I think we need highly skilled people to be doing this kind of thing, because really that is the only way that we can generate wealth for the economy and for the country.
The management of GHOne Applied Technology Institute is also seeking accreditation from the Food and Drugs Authority to use its advanced food processing equipment for producing and packaging processed food for individuals and companies.
It is automated. When you also get to a level that you want it to come to the cooking tank.
All right, so writers from Ghana and Nigeria are teaming up to explore new and creative ways of telling real-life stories, well, as part of efforts to boost literacy and grow the creative industry across West Africa. The British Council hosted the first ever GHOne Writing Workshop, a platform to help writers sharpen their non-fiction skills while tackling issues like democracy, inequality, and environmental responsibility. My colleague Stella Botry has more.
Themed Writing for a Just World, the two-day workshop brought together 20 creative minds eager to sharpen their non-fiction writing skills and craft essays that connect with a diverse global audience. Project Manager for Arts and Culture at the British Council Ghana, Andrew Ntuamensa, said the initiative is designed to support literary writers and highlight the power of storytelling in driving social inclusion and sustainable development.
This is part of work that we are doing to make sure that the literary space gets the needed support and the opportunity for them to also scale and contribute to the creative economy.
Deputy Editor of GHOne magazine, Sam Dresser, also emphasized the importance of building a strong network of non-fiction writers across West Africa.
Well, there's several reasons why we decided to do a workshop. One of them is that it's really important for us that
we have a global view of things, is that we publish writers from all over the world.
Participants describe the workshop as an eye-opener that has deepened their understanding of how stories can influence change and foster empathy.
As an avenue for me to hone my skills in writing so that I'll be able to effectively communicate my observations, my experiences, my studies, and my view about things that I know would be able to help and improve the lives of people out there.
You keep learning different styles, different structures, meeting different people.
I think I must believe in my craft more. I must make time to write and make time to share the writing. Most often it's writing and then keeping it. But at this point, I've been encouraged that, particularly on social media, I must share more and find ways of making myself visible.
Through research, reflection, and storytelling, the writers explored how nonfiction can give voice to urgent social issues and inspire readers to take action. Organizers say the initiative marks another step toward nurturing Africa's next generation of influential storytellers writing for a more just and inclusive world.
Well, for over 6 decades, the Ford Foundation has been at the heart of West Africa's development journey, empowering citizens, strengthening institutions, and championing justice and equality. While as the foundation marks 65 years of transformative work, its partners are celebrating not only a legacy of impact, but a renewed of commitment to building a sustainable and inclusive future.
From democratic reforms to climate resilience, the Ford Foundation's footprint in West Africa runs deep. At a ceremony held in Dodoma, partners including ISODEC and the West Africa Civil Society Institute paid tribute to the foundation's long-standing support for human rights, good governance, and environmental justice. Head of policy programs at ISODEC, Bernard Anaba, described the milestone as a celebration of resilience and partnership, highlighting the Ford Foundation's $16 billion global investment in social change.
Tree represent life. Tree also represent longevity, represent resilience. So we thought that it will represent Ford Foundation's vision. And as we move forward, these trees are trees that we are going to nurture, to grow, to represent our community, and also rally our children around it as something that is good that we need to look up to.
Melissa Juicy Simo of WACSI underscored how the foundation's support has strengthened democratic leadership and youth empowerment across the sub-region.
As we celebrate this 65-year legacy of the Ford Foundation in West Africa, we are reminded that this milestone represents more than an anniversary. It is a reaffirmation of a shared purpose and an invitation to reimagine the future of civil society.
For the people of West Africa, this anniversary is not just a celebration of the past, but a promise for a greener, freer, and more equitable future.
Well, in a move to promote education and reward excellence, the Member of Parliament for Daboya Mankarigu, Shaibu Mahama Obey, has launched the maiden edition of the Obey Dream Scholarship to support outstanding basic education certificate examination, that's BEC candidates. The MP also broke grounds for the construction of the modern kindergarten facility to enhance early childhood education in Daboya.
The maiden edition of the Obey Dream Scholarship has brought smiles to students and parents in the Daboya Mankarigu constituency. 3 top-performing BC candidates from each junior high school received scholarships, textbooks, and other learning materials as part of efforts to ease the financial burden on parents and encourage academic excellence.
Teacher accommodation and some of our classroom blocks, and especially furniture, they are lacking. If you look at the nature of the district, the spatial spread is such that it's not easy to move from one community to other. So if teachers have accommodation, I think they will stay. It will serve as a motivation for them to stay and help our young ones.
The Member of Parliament, Shaibu Mahama Obey, reaffirmed his commitment to improving education in the constituency.
So we want to make sure that whatever is committed to school, we will make sure we deliver on that. If you take Tonsong and Paria, the nearest JHS is GHOne, which is more than 25 kilometers. So nearly 60 to 70% of them terminate at P6 because they don't have the facility to go to JHS. And so what we are doing this year, we are creating a JHS between Tonsong and Paria.
The MP, together with the district chief executive for North Gonja and the district director of education, also cut the sword for the construction of a modern model kindergarten and nursery school in Daboya. The facility, when completed, will provide a safe and conducive learning environment for children, laying a strong foundation for early childhood education in the area.
Teacher accommodation is one of the key things that we have identified, and we will be innovative enough as an assembly to even convert some of the classroom blocks that we are supposed to put up into teacher cottages.
Residents and education stakeholders have commended the initiative, describing it as a step toward bridging educational gaps and motivating young learners to excel.
Well, we'll take other stories at this moment. Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, Kweku Kotoko, has asked journalists to recognize the influence they wield in shaping public discourse and utilize it in the fight against climate change. Well, according to him, they should assume the role of the fictional character, Captain Planet, and make the protection of the environment their key priority. Well, he made these remarks during a Digital Journalism Summit by TN Africa on climate journalism. There's more in the following report.
The British Council was charged with energy as young journalists from various sectors of new media gathered for TN Africa's Digital Journalism Summit. Keynote speaker for the event, Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, Kweku Kotoko, challenged journalists to recognize the influence they wield in shaping public discourse. He urged the media to take on the role of cartoon echo champion character, Captain Planet, to safeguard the planet.
When we used to watch Captain Planet, we all saw it just as an action movie, right? But have you thought of what they were doing? They were about protecting the environment. They were against pollution. So whenever Captain Pollution tried to pollute the environment, Kwame and his neighbor and his brothers and sisters would call in Captain Planet if the work was beyond them. This is time for us to go back. And I believe already the new Captain Planet in town is not only President John Mahama. The people who will be able to help Captain Planet to succeed, it's you, and myself, who are young men, who must be very concerned about the next generation.
Representing Barbados, Her Excellency Juliet Bino Sutherland, the High Commissioner to Ghana, urged journalists to empower vulnerable communities facing the harsh realities of climate change through news reports.
In today's digital age, you are not just content creators, and I see and recognize many of you, and digital journalists. You are narrative builders. Let's tell the news stories, stories of hope, stories of resilience, of innovation in Ghana, because the climate fight is not just about saving the planet, it's about saving the possibilities of all of our people.
Media mogul and CEO of the EIB network, Bolore, applauded the efforts of TN Africa's founders, whom he proudly called his mentees, for their growth. He praised their vision and reaffirmed his belief that today's young media professionals are capable of shaping tomorrow's climate narrative.
I must say, one of my favorite, happiest days of my life, because two of my mentees, my prodigies, are doing this, putting it together. And it's about impact, it's about empowerment, it's about legacy. I've always maintained that you don't have to get to the finish line alone. You hold hands and you take people along. It's like a relay. You hand over the baton, the person, and it's teamwork. Join me in celebrating these two distinguished people. To Dami and Victoria, look, I'm so happy. So we are proud of you. Congratulations, all right?
The summit under the theme Shaping Africa's Future Through Climate Journalism, ignited powerful conversation through the role of media in driving climate action across the continent and exploring how storytelling can amplify climate awareness and inspire solutions.
All right, all is set for us to bring you the latest from our world of business.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
All right, so in business tonight, it's been 6 decades since Ghana introduced its own currency, the cedi, making a bold step towards economic independence and national identity, while from replacing the British West African pound in 1965 to surviving multiple redenominations, devaluations, and design changes. The cedi has witnessed the country's economic highs and lows, while as Ghana's legal tender turns 60 years, Genevieve Appiah looks back at the journey of the Ghana cedi and what's the future holds for the symbol of Ghana's economic sovereignty.
After independence, the new monetary authority, the Bank of Ghana, issued its own currency, the Ghana pounds, shillings and pence on 14th July 1958. With that issue, the Bank of Ghana formally took over the issue of currency notes and coins from the WACB. The second issue of currency was in early 1965, when Ghana decided to leave the British colonial monetary system and adopt the widely accepted decimal system. Accordingly, cedi notes and Peswa coins were introduced on the 19th of July 1965 to replace the Ghana pounds, shillings and pence. The cedi was equivalent to 8 shillings and 4 pence and bore the portrait of the then president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The name cedi was derived from the word cedi, meaning cowrie, a shell money which gained popularity and wider circulation in the latter part of the 19th century. The Peswa represented the smallest denomination of the gold dust currency regime. The name was chosen to replace the British colonial penny. After the overthrow of the CPP government, the military government decided to replace the existing currency, which bore Nkrumah's portrait, with one without his portrait. The new cedi was introduced on 17 February 1965. On 9 March 1979, the government announced the introduction of new cedi notes to replace the old ones. The old cedis were therefore demonetized. The new denominations issued include 1 cedi, 2 cedis, 5 cedis, 10 cedis, 20 cedis, and 50 cedis. From 1965 to present, various cedi and Peswa denominations ranging from 1 cedi to 500 cedis for notes and half pen to 500 cedis for coins were put into circulation. Between 1972 and 1994, 7 different note denominations and 8 coin denominations were introduced. Since 2002, 2 more notes, 100 cedis and 200 cedis, have been added to notes in circulation. To commemorate the cedi at 60, some Ghanaians have been sharing their thoughts about the cedi's strength and how citizens handle the legal tender.
Aya ade ya manage ne kakra na emo kwanse no nso se eton ade ya nyansesa si kwanse no enso so ho a no nso ye na cedis no nso ye na cedis no nso no ye nhwe ne yie obu akra cedis no okuta kra no amoamoa no obu nso a de be hye ne kotoku no amoamoa na hye ne kotoku wo de to ade ya na aye basa na ibu okra ensesa so de koto ade ya simenje se kra kwanse 20 pesos no. The
cedi is doing well, one way or the other, because it's helping us to do our everyday transaction. I don't know why they are rejecting the pesos, because it has been signed by Bank of Ghana that we can use pesos. and then you go for transaction and people reject the PSS as if it is not money that has not been signed. So I would like the higher authority to do something about this. If it can be banned from the system, we will be fine.
Sidi no ayadie yesika no ayadie nemu no apart from that drivers ma ultimate ma passengers ka was mempe say ye coins you say ye note o de mana was mempe na wa reject okay ni winti no ye be sra pan no on hwe na discipline bi emra both drivers and passengers
Money, they say, makes the world go round, but it also tells a deeper story, a story of independence, leadership, and national identity. As part of activities to celebrate the cedi at 60, the Bank of Ghana will hold the cedi at 60 anniversary at the Accra International Conference Center and a Thanksgiving service in December 2025.
The value is definitely the same. Well, other stories in business, and here the National President of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana, Michael Abiu, has called on newly graduated marketers to uphold professionalism and integrity in their field. Well, at a graduation ceremony here in Accra, Michael Abiu urged the new professionals to use their expertise to mentor the next generation and contribute to raising ethical standards in Ghana's marketing industry.
A moment of pride and celebration as hundreds of marketing professionals gathered at the Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana's graduation and induction ceremony in Accra. The event brought together industry leaders, academics, and families to witness the formal admission of new members into the institute, marking a major milestone in their professional journey. President of the Institute, Michael Abiu, congratulated the graduates for their achievements, but reminded them that their responsibility extends beyond personal success. He urged them to share their knowledge and experience to help nurture the next generation of marketers who will uphold integrity and innovation in the profession.
We are a family of professionals united by one vision. So if you are here today, and this time I'm talking to those who are on my right, and you are not a member of CIMG, I warmly invite you to join us and become part of this growing community. I charge you today that use your expertise and experience to mentor the next generation of professional marketing leaders.
Representing the Minister for Education, Dr. Emmanuel Newman, who also serves as the Director for Tertiary Education, commended the Institute for complementing the government's efforts in bridging the gap between academic learning and the practical demands of industry.
We used to, you bring any program to a school, ask you go and see if it's an engineer, go and see the engineers. I think you should have input in our curriculum, in tertiary education, in marketing, so that you were talking about recruiting more members, so that by pursue marketing as a degree program or HND, you get your degree and also write your professional examination. So those exiting the schools can automatically become members of you, as they do for nursing. You get academic.
The ceremony also featured awards for outstanding graduates and a renewed pledge by the Institute to strengthen partnerships with academia and corporate Ghana to ensure marketing continues to play a pivotal role in the country's economic transformation.
All right, so that's about all we have for you in business tonight, but we're not done. We're bringing you some updates from our world of sports.
Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
In boxing tonight, Ghana has proven their dominance in the ring, this time overpowering the boxing club Duras of France in an international amateur challenge at the Accra Sports Stadium. Well, the competition organized by the Bukum Boxing Gym attracted top talents from both nations, celebrating the spirit of sports diplomacy and youth development in boxing.
The sounds of gloves and cheers as Ghana took on France's boxing club, Druya, in the thrilling international amateur showdown. Gym with support from the Ghana Boxing Federation and the National Sports Authority, the event capped off a weekend of boxing workshops and cultural exchange. The event, dubbed Road to Ghana, opened with juvenile exhibition bouts and saw Ghana dominate France at all levels. Ebenezer Ankra stopped his opponent, Bilal Jinebi Jr., in the first round of their encounter. SWAG Awards nominee Matthias Ashite impressed the fans with an ecstatic second-round stoppage. Francis Quartey added to Ghana's tally by outpunching his French challenger after the stipulated 3 rounds. Director General of the NSA, Yao Ampofo Ankra, commended the initiative and pledged continued support for boxing development in Ghana.
That we all agree that it is proper to make sure our boxers are always safe in the ring, before the fights, during the fights, and after the fights. And hopefully we can do this Ghana, France, home and away, and maybe the NSA should also look at having fight nights for amateurs once a month at least, to get them in their rhythm ahead of the Commonwealth Games and also the Olympic Games.
Irrespective of the outcome, both teams expressed excitement about the initiative and pledged to strengthen their partnership at an even higher level.
It's time for us to refresh you with some entertainment on GHOne. All right, so from Accra to Kampala, from Lagos to Abidjan, a new wave is rising across Africa's creative landscape, a movement of storytellers determined to redefine their identity. Well, the Africa Monologue Challenge is not just a creative competition, but a continental call for unity and collaboration, a reminder that when Africa speaks with one voice, the world must listen.
The Africa Monologue Challenge with the African Chamber of Content Producers brings together young actors and filmmakers from across the continent to tell Africa's stories the African way.
At this point, the question is that who is telling Africa's stories now? Who is branding Africa? That is the reason why Africa Monologue Challenge was birthed, to mobilize Africa's great minds to tell African stories the African way.
The challenge, first hosted in Ghana and later in Uganda, aims to build one African movie industry, a united film front capable of shaping global perception. Because, as the saying goes, he who controls the story controls the mind. And unity, they say, is strength. But for Africa, unity is survival.
10 finalists are already contesting. We only have 20, and we will get the final 10, who will be sponsored by their various governments and flown to Côte d'Ivoire to spend a month in Côte d'Ivoire and be part of the Africa Monologue Challenge competition and cultural experience.
Through film, Africa can rebrand itself, not as a land of struggle, but as a land of spirit, resilience, and brilliance.
Whatever we want to do as Africans, it is only through movies that a country or a continent can tell its own story.
The African Monologue Challenge is more than a contest. It is a classroom for unity, an awakening for the youth, and a declaration that Africa's future will be written and filmed by Africans themselves.
Now we move on to the international front, and here voting has ended and counting is underway at the Ivorian embassy, where nationals of the world's leading cocoa producer cast their ballots to elect a new president. Well, a total of 1,432 registered Ivorian voters in Ghana were expected to exercise their franchise at the embassy in Osu. 4 polling stations were being set up in Accra with an additional center designated in Kumasi. Well, the Ashanti regional capital voters arrived in pairs and small groups to cast their ballots in the exercise, which commenced around 8:30 a.m. Incumbent President Alassane Ouattara is seeking a controversial 4th term, having first come to power in year 2010. After a violent electoral dispute, Ouattara is being challenged by 4 other candidates, including Simeon Gbagbo, a former First Lady, and Jean-Louis Billion, a former Commerce Minister under Ouattara. All right, so that's about all we have for you in tonight's bulletin. My name is Kweku. It's been an awesome time staying with you throughout the 1-hour period. Well, the assurance is that if you're looking for that channel that gives you information, education, and entertainment, then obviously you're talking about GHOne TV. Keep your channel right here. My name is Kweku. Enjoy the rest of your evening.